As we drop the green flag, race 1 is underway. Oh, Creed gets put into the wall, as well as Tarzan Hocevar. He spins out, but he crosses the line first, backwards. Now take a look at this. Sheldon Creed actually bounces right here. Wow, big time. That was a whale of a ride for Sheldon Creed right there, that number 2. Down they go, and the stretch is really going to be dicey. They're side by side with each other. Oh, and Sauter puts Matt Crafton into the inside wall. And if you think that they're still teammates in this one, obviously they are not. As Johnny Sauter puts Matt Crafton into the inside wall and steals one away, as it's now 2-1 here with only one race to go. Here we go. Round 3 is now underway. Oh, Cram is a little bit out of shape. He spins out, and that would mean Austin Hill will come across the line with no issues, and Dawson Cram does make it across the line backwards. Now take a look at this sloppy start by Dawson Cram. Wow! He was up on 2 wheels, almost went over. As you saw, he was on its side for a brief second. And he does hit the outside wall, and he spins out. Does Cram still have a shot? Will we be able to get past Austin Hill? Maybe no! Hill still makes it across the line first, even though he was sideways. They both got together, and Hill will move on to the next round after a blowout race between him and Dawson Cram. So let's see what Hocevar can do in the second race. Net to net, door to door. Hill gets turned. Oh! And I cannot tell from that angle, but I believe Tarzan Hocevar might have gone in that. So Hocevar bounces off of the outside wall. That's what got him into Austin Hill. He bounces off and he goes into the inside wall. Take a look at this. Wow. Hocevar hits the line first before Hill could do it backwards. The rear of Austin Hill's truck almost hit the start-finish line first. That was an unbelievable finish. That is definitely going to the history books for sure. And here they go down the stretch. This is really going to be dicey as they both side by side. They both do a crossover move as Matt Crafton nose first into the wall, but that does not change the fact that he does cross the line first, and we'll get that first point with the early lead. This is really going to pay out here as they're side by side. Oh! Oh my goodness! Matt Crafton just puts Austin Hill into the wall. Oh, and you can see a little bit of flames coming from Austin Hill's truck, hoping that Austin's okay. Oh, that's just unbelievable to see. As you can see, the AMR safety team already going up to Austin Hill's car right now in a blaze, hoping that Austin Hill is okay. As they both go down the straightaway, they both get sideways, they both get put into the wall, and oh! Hill just gets squeezed up between the wall and Matt Crafton. And that's what caused that massive hit for Austin Hill in that 16. And that is where the fuel tanks explodes. Massive fire for Austin Hill. But luckily, Austin Hill walks out under his own power, but he will be eliminated from this event. Matt Crafton looking very, very strong, but Tarzan Hocevar is trying to steal it. No, he will not steal it, as now Matt Crafton now has a 2-point lead over Tarzan Hocevar. Oh, a little bit sideways, the both into the wall. Allgaier hard into the wall. Josh Berry is going to get that point, and Justin Allgaier is a sitting duck right there as he doesn't make it across the line. Now, you may not be able to see it well, but they both made contact into the wall right there. But Allgaier, oh, that's a big hit right there for Allgaier. So he doesn't make it across the line, but Barry does. And the semifinals are now underway. Oh, they're both sideways. They're both into the wall. Barry now straight down, and he gets the point. And Sam Mayer does not make it across the line. And the championship round is officially underway. Oh, and they're a little bit sideways. They're both sideways. Sidra now loses it, but he does cross the line backwards as he gets that first point here in the championship round. Things were really heating up right here. Sidra looks like he was trying to block Josh Berry, and then That got both of them into the wall. Sindrid and Barry spins out, but Barry didn't look like he spun out, but Sindrid did. Barry doesn't make it across the line, but Sindrid does backwards. So the ramp now closes, and now the main event is officially underway. Ryan Priest gets it to the inside wall, spins out. Kyle Busch also slams the inside wall, but makes it across the line and gets the first point of the evening. As he goes down the ramp, seems like to me he was a little bit sideways, trying to exit out of that ramp, and he did make contact with Kyle Busch. That's what slowed him down, and the wall especially slowed him down, and that's how Kyle Busch was able to get in front of Ryan Priest. And the ramp goes down again. Oh, Ryan Priest gets into Kyle Busch, and Kyle Busch now spins out, and Priest is going to take another point away from him. Kyle Busch hits the wall, and Ryan Priest steals it away, and then... Oh, Priest just squeezed the Busch up into that wall, and that caused Kyle Busch to spawn out and hit that outside wall pretty hard as well. All Ryan Priest needs to do is not make a mistake, and he'll move on to the next round. And now he's into the wall, and Kyle Busch is going to steal it away, and now it's tied up with 2-2. Oh, Ryan Priest just made the same mistake coming out of the ramp, but he got a big shove by Kyle Busch from the door, and that's what got him sideways and into the wall. I must say, that was pretty aggressive racing by the 18, but nonetheless, it was still an amazing battle, as now is going to be a tiebreaker in an in-it-to-win-it race. Ramp is down, cars have been initiated, and we're now underway for race 2. Oh, seems like Bell is sideways, and Logano as well! He slides across the start-finish line backwards and gets the first point. Let's see if we can comprehend about what happened. It looked like Bell might have gone into that wall, and Logano probably did the same thing as well. It's just kind of hard to see because of how some of that wall is in front of the camera, but I believe that's what happened. Ramp goes down again. Logano with an early stretch. Bell spins out in the back again. And Logano, another easy point dub for him. And Christopher Bell once again spins out in the background. Did Logano put him in the wall? Again, the wall was in the way, and we couldn't even see like a good majority of that. And here we go, SHR versus JGR. Oh, and they're both sideways. Aragon Marola and Denny Hamlin both skirmish, and Aragon Marola hit the wall a ton, and Hamlin crosses the line and gets the first point. So, oh man, Aragon Marola first hit that wall and got pushed back. Got into Hamlin, and Hamlin hit the wall, bounced back to Almirola, and that's what took place. My goodness. And down they go again. Hamlin with the lead. He blots Almirola. His nose is skinning across the wall. And Almirola goes down to the bottom side, and he does coast across the start-finish line. And he steals a point away from Hamlin. Hamlin scrubs the inside wall. He's about to hit the opposite side of the wall. Almirola spins out behind him, and Hamlin is going to make it across the start-finish line, and he's going to get that final point, and he will move on into the next round here in today's event, and that's going to eliminate Eric Almirola, and Almirola will be going back on the shelf after a valiant effort for Eric Almirola. Let's see what Alfredo can do right here in this lap. Oh! And Custer puts Alfredo to the wall. He spins out. He comes back in front of Alfredo, and his rear makes him cross the line, and he's going to get the point. Take a look at what he did. He pinches Alfredo into the inside wall, bounces off of it, spins out, comes back in front of Alfredo, comes across the line backwards, and just stole a point away from Alfredo. What terrific racing done by Cole Custer in that 41 machine, as is now a 2-0 point lead for Cole Custer as Anthony Alfredo is facing elimination. And the ramp goes down yet again. They're off. And they're both into the inside wall again. And Stenhouse bounces off and biffs the other side of the wall. It's going to be another easy point grab for Kyle Larson. And it looks like to me that Kyle Larson is looking like to make this race a blowout race. But don't count out Chase Elliott. He's going to try to do something here in this round. He goes down low, and he slides across the racetrack. He hits the wall. That's going to get pushed to another point as Chase Elliott spins around and he hits the wall.
Oh wow, Elliott got completely sideways, and then he tried to overcorrect it, went down to the bottom, made contact with Buescher, and then eventually the wall. Nosed it into the wall pretty significantly.
What's going to happen here? LaJoy scrapes the wall, and he's going to spin out and hit the opposite side of the wall. And it looks like that glass slipper is not going to fit on Corey LaJoy. And that's going to give Kurt Busch the third and final point, and Kurt Busch is going to move on to the next round. They're side by side. Austin Dillon tries to move down to the bottom side, and Tyler Reddick spins out, barely nudges the wall, and Austin Dillon is going to get the 1-point lead over Tyler Reddick. Side by side again. Dillon has the lead. Both scrambled up into the wall. Dillon slides and he misses it! And that's going to give Tyler Reddick the point. He snoots by Austin Dillon and he steals a point away. Dillon was already in trouble and he tried to drift it across the start-finish line and he missed it by a couple of meters, and that helped Reddick secure the point, and it's now tied up between him and Austin Dillon. Down they go again. Reddick gets a great start, and he gets turned by Austin Dillon! He gets turned by his own teammate! Aggressive racing by the three of Austin Dillon. So the Dillon? Oh! Wait, Reddick was the one that put a Dillon into the wall. And as soon as I think when Dillon hit the wall, he came back and he got bounced around and hit Tyler Reddick. Maddie's got to think smart as they come down the ramp once again. And Keselowski is upside down on his roof! All of a sudden, Brad Keselowski was on his way to try to see if he could do this race to a blowout race, and then all of a sudden, his car seemed like to me it flipped over coming off of the ramp, and that Team Penske number 2 Ford Mustang has come to a stop on his roof in an unbelievable incident. So Keselowski is upside down on his roof. A1 safety team on the scene. Let's take a look at this. Oh wow. Yeah, he did not have a good start coming off of that ramp. Seems like to me he came out a little bit crooked unless he ramped off the side of that ramp, and that's what got him up and over. And they're saying he's okay, and they're putting the car back on its wheels, and that is a good sign. And they're off. Side by side with the lead right now, and McDowell with a massive punch into the wall, and that's going to give Ross Chastain the first point, and Michael McDowell is just going to coast across the start-finish line.
Does McDowell have any sort of help here? He goes down to the bottom side, and he's going to spin out, and he's going to hit the wall, and that's going to do it. Chastain is going to hold up McDowell, and Chastain is going to move on into the next round, and Michael McDowell is going to be done in this event.
And down they go again. What can Cindric do right here? Cindric now has the lead, and he hits the wall! And Ryan Newman's going to squeak by and sneaks another point! Oh wow, Cindric got sideways coming off of the ramp, and he tried to overcorrect it to the right and tried to save it, but unfortunately just couldn't. And he significantly impacts the wall, and that gave Newman a chance to sneak by and steal the point away. Briscoe has the lead, hits the wall, spins out, hits the wall, doesn't make it across the finish line, and Austin Cindric, for the first time today, is going to secure a point. Austin Cindric has secured, this is his 10th point of this year. He scored 9 in the Xfinity Exhibition night race, and they were all from blowout races, and Austin Cindric finally gets that first point here in the Cup Series.
Oh, Dillon, someone find a way to get in front of him. Dillon is going to be out front, and he takes it away.
He puts this race into a 2-point tie, and now we're going to go into inaugural race 5 and in it to win it race. Seems like me the side by side. Chastain with the advantage, and Chastain is going to hold on to the early point, and oh boy. Some of the wall may have gotten a little bit loose and a little bit crooked, but we're gonna get that fixed. Side by side right now. Kurt Busch with the lead. He spins out, hits the wall, and Ross Chastain does sneak by and sneaks a second point. Again, Kurt Busch looked like he was going to take a point away and maybe tie it up, but Ross Chastain ends up scooting by as Kurt Busch made some mistake. Now Kurt was already in trouble. He drifted across the track and got into Chastain, and look at that. When Kurt Busch tried to block Chastain, He hit the wall and he hit it with enough force that he was pushed back, and Chastain, unbelievably with enough speed, passes by and sneaks between the wall and Kurt Busch. Let's see what Kurt Busch can do here. Side by side, Kurt Busch is into the wall, and that's going to give Chastain that third and final point, and he's going to be able to move on into the next round, and Kurt Busch won't even cross the finish line, and he will be done for the day. Cole Custer with the lead. Crossover move. Custer hits the wall. Hamlin goes down low. He's going to steal the point. Custer hits the wall trying to do a crossover move. Both of them did. And Custer hits the wall and Hamlin squeaks by. So can Cole Custer outlive Danny Hamlin, or Danny Hamlin make it across the line? It looks like to me Hamlin is going to go across the line. Custer spins out behind him, and Cole Custer's solid day comes to an abrupt end. They are side by side. Truex now gets into the wall. He bounced up to the other side. He's going to make it across the finish line. Barely. He makes it across the finish line backwards, and he's going to get the second point. Can Newman pull it off? Newman! Both of them are into the wall, and Buescher is going to coast to the finish line, and Chris Buescher saves himself for what possibly could have been another situation with Kyle Busch dealt when he was up against Kyle Busch, and he moves on into the quarterfinals. Brad Keselowski with the lead. He gets put into the wall. He hits the other side of the wall, and once again, Cindric is going to sneak by and get the first point again. Keselowski with the advantage. Cindric scraping the wall. Keselowski bounces off at the other side of the wall, but he's still going to make it across the finish line and will get the first point. Now, Austin Cindric is now on a race that has both drivers with individual points. And here we go, the final race of the round of 16, and Logano is upside down on its roof. That gives Jones the advantage, and Logano, another Team Penske driver, upside down on its roof. Seemed like to me he had the same issue like Brad Keselowski, and now that 22 Ford Mustang is on its lid against the wall. Boy, Roger Penske is definitely not going to be happy about how much bills he's going to pay for tonight, as two of his cars has now gone upside down today. Let's take a look at what happened. Oh man, just like before. We saw the same issue with Brad Keselowski flipped over just like that. And now Logano did the exact same thing. I'm not sure if some of these cars are just not at a proper angle for them to go down, or it's just they're just flipping off that side of the ramp. We're not entirely sure. But either way, Jones now has the lead, and Logano's car is now being placed back on his wheels. So let's see what the both of them can do as they come down the ramp. And Austin Dillon rotates that car upside down on its roof. For the second consecutive race in a row, we've seen a car flip off the ramp, and this is just like what happened to the two Team Penske drivers, as Austin Dillon has the same issue, and he's on his and he's come to a rest on it upside down on its roof. My goodness, we have seen so many cars going upside down today. Again, let's take a look to see if Dillon had the same issue like before. Yeah, Dillon won again. For the third time, we've had a car flip over coming off into the ramp. I'm not entirely sure if the cars are coming off the ramp at an awkward angle, or I'm not entirely sure that these cars are just flipping off of that side of the ramp. It's just so odd and just so bizarre to think of how many times this happened already. But of course, as you can see, Austin Dillon is being flipped back on his wheels, crowd roars. So let's see what happens this time. Can Austin Dillon pull a comeback? A hard hit from behind! Austin Dillon, a hard hit from behind, and that's going to end Austin Dillon's solid run. Daniel Suarez still edges out Austin Dillon, and he avoids elimination. Both of them are side by side, and to the line, Erik Jones is going to get the point, and now he flips over onto its side. As soon as Jones crossed the line, he hit something with tremendous force to flip that car onto its side. Now, we're going to take a look and see how the car ended up going upside down. Just look at the impact that the 43 just took. My goodness, a blistering blow into that side of that wall. And did you see how the camera Did you see how much the camera vibrated? That's how much of a hard hit that was for Eric Jones. And now, as you can see, the car now rotates back onto its wheels. And both are now side by side with each other. And a big hit from behind from Chris Buescher, both from the outside and the inside wall. And Eric Jones will once again come across the start-finish line and will get a 2-point lead over Chris Buescher. Now, Buescher actually impacted the wall extremely hard right here, and with phenomenal force, the turbo velocity from that car bounced him all the way into the other side of the wall. That was a very nasty ride for Chris Buescher. So can Chris Buescher try to see if he can pull a comeback? No, he will not! He is upside down on its roof! Once again, a car flips over up to the ramp. This is the 4th time that this has happened. Unbelievable. Chris Buescher, who is looking to try to see if he can make a comeback, his race ends up going upside down, and that's where his race is going to end. He will be eliminated from this event, and Eric Jones is going to move on.
Now let's look back. Did Buescher have the same issue like before? Yes, he did. This is the 4th time that we've seen a car flip off the ramp or just coming off of it. We've seen this before from Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Austin Dillon. And now Chris Buescher now flips off from that ramp, and unfortunately, that is where his time in this event comes to an abrupt end, with him being upside down on his roof. Now Chris Buescher's car is being placed back on all 4 wheels, but he will be going onto that truck, and he will be done for today's event. But nonetheless, Eric Jones, with all 3 points, will be moving on into the semifinals with 1 spot remaining.
Here we go, final race of the quarterfinals. Let's see what happens here. Truex has the lead. Brad turns him. Truex and both Brad are into the wall, and Truex is going to make it across the line, and he's going to get the first point. So let's see if Brad can do anything to try to get himself a chance to get himself into the semifinal rounds, and Truex is going to spin out, and he wrecks. Brad Keselowski now gets by, and he's going to tie things up with 2 points. And here we go, last run. Down the ramp they go. Keselowski gets it to the wall, and Truex is going to do it. Truex outlives Brad Keselowski, and he has done it. He secures the last spot in the semifinals, and Keselowski, the last Team Penske driver of this event, is now going on the shelf.